to the grid. Okay, so I'm using with my iPad here. So this is what I do. Remember the Ronaldo thing that I translated and gridded. Okay, so this is how am I going to solve. Suppose that I will consider the square one. Okay, so the first square on the top left, and then I added crisscrossing here to identify the middle. So here now I will be, sorry for that one, I will be identifying my middle. Okay, so I'll use my pen so to identify my middle. So that would be my middle. So I notice here that the middle is, you know, that this one is touching the very center. So that is the very center here. Notice that I will carefully lay down my lines and shapes. So here, the middle here, this one is here. So I could see the line is a bit lower and barely touching this this line on the right here. Okay. So all I have to do is just like a cartographer, I have to plot. Now let's see this one. This this side here, okay, if that is the middle, that is almost to the center. So now I have to identify that's the center here. So I have to plot now. Where would it be? Looking on this model, I just keep on staring and identifying where are the possible location of individual shapes, individual lines. Okay, so that's how I start. Okay, so once I manage to plot, so sometimes it's up to you if you will do it detailed or not detailed. So you can disregard some of the unwanted details, just like not every plot of things that you want to do it. So now that is how I plotted my points. Okay, so this time I will reinstate my lines using pen. So I'm now restating my lines using pens. So carefully trying to copy my model. So maybe a little bit lower. With this. I'm happy with this. And maybe I will just disregard some of those details. I don't have to put all the dots here, okay? If it's up to you. Okay, so now, once I plotted all this, I can just use thicker pen to fill in those areas, those dark areas or black areas. Okay, so that's it. So this is fairly easy. But remind you, I want you to look at the middle. Okay, I want you to look at the center. So you can connect the centers by, okay. So that point and that point, you create a straight line. Then that point and then the corner, you create a set. So this is now the middle. Okay, so don't just spot it using just by looking. Sometimes we don't really see the center. So by doing that, by centering, you will be able to understand exactly, okay, where could be the placement. Okay, so that this one, okay, so it's up to me if I add those details. So if not, you can just, oops, sorry, you can just erase it. So that's how I'm going to start. So now if I will just continue, let me just use my pencil again. If I will just continue, I can start again using pencil. So now middle. So here I am just barely plotting where are my middle. So because that, I can now plot I can now plot those lines. Okay, so here, barely in the middle. Okay. Yeah. So drawing using grid system is very useful. Of course, if you want to create your own rather than just copying, you can add your own twist. You can add your own, your own creative way of doing stuff. So now here, manage to plot this. Let us look at this one. So again, middle. So that could be the center. Okay, center. So the nose is barely barely touching the center point that I plotted there. So now I have to look at this. So that's the middle here. That's the middle. So now I plotted the middle. So now again that nose is barely touching the center. So just looking, I plot it again. Then I go to the eye on top. Okay. I have to look at spot at the top one. So that's the. So I noticed that I'm looking here that the line on the very top that I'm drawing is a little bit lower than the middle. So you see how important to spot the center? Because by spotting the center, you will be able to gauge where is the proper location. So now I think I'm happy with that one. So I will go to the mouth. So once again, that is barely touching that center there and a little bit on top. So I have to plot where's the middle. So that's my center there. Okay, so a bit straight here and straight here. Now all I have to do now is add the those dark areas below. So if you want to put dot 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 like this, is up to you. So that is your call. Okay, so I'm finished. So all I have to do now is to reinstate using pen. Okay. So you might want to disregard some of those details. So it's up to you now. You don't have to kind of like plot it. It's up to you. Okay, but for the sake of demonstration, I'll just show to you the quick way on how I approach this grid system. Okay. Once again, the most important is identifying the center. Okay, and gauging where is the location. Sometimes it's not perfect, but I think this grid system is useful to know the alignment, and it's also useful to plot things. So there might be differences, but I think it's forgiving. I guess the most important thing is how it's not really how to copy it like a scanner, but having those kind of system that will help you to see the alignment, to see the general position of the shape. So that's why we need the grid system. By the way, another one is make sure that these are 90 degrees. Okay, 90 degrees here, 90 degrees here. Okay, so this should be perpendicular line. Okay, use ruler, use a straight edge to draw your line. And when you draw your lines, another tip that I can share to you is make sure your lines are drawn lighter. So these should be light only, okay? Because you will erase them later. Okay? So now I'm almost finished with my Ronaldo. So all I have to do is finalize this. And eventually finalize this. So this is useful, and in your drawing, you will see that if you use this grid system, your drawing will improve significantly. Why? Because often it's tricky. So by looking at your image carefully, by looking at the alignment, the relationship of one shape with the relationship with the eye here with the relationship of here, you have to see the alignment. Okay, you have to see on how the relationship. Say for example here, what is the relationship of this with that one? What is the relationship of this with the, how far with the nose? Okay, things like that. So they are very, very useful. Okay, so the grid system is useful, and I'm sure that your drawing will improve significantly. Okay, you will get that. So try it, and give me a feedback. Okay, so try it by redrawing. If you want to redraw Ronaldo here, that's okay. Or you can do another football player, maybe a sports figure, well-known figure, just like Pele or whatever, or I don't know, Bogba, or maybe Vietnamese football players, or even actors, or even yourself. Okay, yeah, that's it. So you see, I managed to plot, okay, my Ronaldo here using the grid system. Okay, that's the eye here. Okay, okay, that's all for me.